All right, and we are back on the seventh episode of the John Gill Podcast Show. And I am super excited, ladies and gentlemen, to announce we have probably one of the best guests we'll ever have on the show. And this guy, definitely the most handsome man on the planet, guaranteed. I
You
have
got
with
that
that's
right.
that's right. I have with you today the man, the myth, the legend, my dad, Juan Guillermo Gil, with us on the show. Everybody, give him a round of applause. Woo!
Thank you, Annie. Thank you. I deserve it. I deserve it. No, thank you for that introduction. You are very kind to me. And, well, I must say that I'm very grateful for the introduction.
Awesome, awesome, Well, you know what? I'm really glad that you took the time to be on the show with me today. And you know, I've always told everyone your story because I feel that a lot of what you've been through, your big successes and some of your challenges and everything in between has it's inspired me. You're my biggest mentor, and you've basically taught me all the ropes in business. And I feel like if anyone hears this podcast today, they're going to get as inspired as I am. So, I would love for you today, I'm going to let you talk. You just share your entire experience, your business experience, how you came to the U.S. Give us some Xavier University, everything. We want to hear it all
Well,
today. We want to hear your
thank you very
story.
much. Well, it's very nice. I feel very proud of you too, by the way. You are the greatest thing or creation that I have ever done. So I'm very proud of you too.
Thank you, thank
But
you.
okay, let's start by saying that I arrived from Colombia in the United States when I was around 18 years old. I went to a school named Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio. There I studied business administration, and I finished my MBA, Master in Business Administration, in 1982. Obviously, through those years, I worked in many areas, in factories. I was the supervisor at the cafeteria. I drove my old friend Carol, who suffered polio while she was a little kid, but she still managed to attend school and graduate with a master's degree. So
Amazing.
it was a great experience in Cincinnati. And I learned that through sacrifices, through the efforts, you could accomplish anything you wanted to. I paid for my school over there. And then I remember that I sent more than 400 letters to different companies in the US. And I went for interviews all over, to Los Angeles, to New York, Miami, Detroit, well, many companies. I was looking for a job and I needed a job. Uh, all these interviews were great, and many of them made me offers to go and work for them. But there was one that really impressed me, and that was Leo Burnett. Leo Burnett is one of the major advertising companies in the world, based in Chicago. And I went to Chicago for the first time in my life to interview with them. But there was a big difference. The difference was that when I went to the airport, I came from the cafeteria from the school. I left my shift and I went to the airport, and I was expecting to find a ticket, a regular ticket. Well, guess what? They had a first class ticket for me.
Hmm.
I never expected that. First time in my life that I flew
First class.
first first class seat in an airplane. So it was something really nice. I enjoyed the champagne they gave me, and The meat they offered to me and everything, it was great. I said, "Oh my God, what's going on?" When I got to O'Hare Airport, they didn't they didn't say take a taxi. No, they had a limo waiting for me.
Nice.
Obviously, it was the first time in my life that I also, rode in a limo. I said, "Oh, this is what's going on." I come from washing dishes to this.
Right.
I stay at the Westin Hotel, first, everything first class. So I like that very much. That they really impressed me. Next day, I went for interviews, and all the people who interviewed me were vice presidents, and that really, I was really impressed. And not only that, when I finished the round of interviews, they told me you can stay in Chicago for a couple of more days to see how you like the city. Something very different to the rest of the companies that I interviewed with.
Sure.
Well, I thought I got the job, but they took almost 2 months or 3 months in 1982, I remember, to send me a letter saying that I was giving me an offer to come to Chicago. Offer that I took immediately, and I came to Chicago, and I was really happy to be in Chicago, that huge city. And obviously, I was there all by myself. I didn't have anybody. I didn't know anybody. I was on my own. I was only 20 years old. It was a great experience. So I worked for Leo Burnett. I learned many, many, many things from that great company that taught me many areas: research, marketing, advertising, production, organizational skills, discipline, everything. They were very kind to me. I supposed to go to Spain to be one of the managers over there, but at the last minute they decided to change for Colombia, something that I didn't want to do. So I resigned, and I thought, well, I know already a lot that I thought.
Right.
Let me start my own company, my own advertising agency, and let's go after the Hispanic market. And I did that. So I went to work first for a Hispanic advertising agency called Omar. It was one of the biggest advertising agencies at that time in Chicago for sure, and in the country. A year later, I felt I was ready, and I left the company and started my own, which is Gil and Gil. I took an office at 312 West Randolph,
That's
an office
downtown Chicago, right?
downtown. I remember, I really wanted to be there. Back then, I'm talking about 1984, I had already uh, met your mother, and I had married her,
Mm.
and we started that together.
How old were
Uh,
you? How old were you when you set that office up?
oh, I was like 22, only 23, perhaps
Yeah.
23, 20, perhaps 24.
Okay.
And I started that company over there. But back then, it was too much, the rent. It was $3,500 per month. And I'm talking about 1984, 1985.
Jeez,
So
that's a lot of
I
money
almost,
now.
even today, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I thought I needed to have that to,
The
to
image.
show some strength, some power, that I knew what I was doing. And I found out that it was a good thing for a while, because I needed to start a production company So when the people who sold the equipment came to see me, they gave me credit on everything, cameras, editing equipment, you name it. Oh yes, Mr. Gill, of course, yeah, whatever you need. So it was a good thing because they thought I was really into sitting on a lot of money, and in reality, I was struggling. I was making money, but not enough to pay the rent and to have all the people that were helping me back then. Anyway, I lasted like a year, and then I had to move out. But I already had my equipment. I had met a lot of politicians because I was very close to City Hall and the James Thompson Government Center. So I remember that I had the opportunity to do the Harold Washington campaign for mayor in the Hispanic market. I also worked for James Thompson for governor. So, I managed a lot of campaigns, political campaigns. Uh, I remember working for Luis Gutierrez when he was first selected to City Hall and later on to Washington as a congressman. And so I got involved in not in politics. I was the advertising agency for all those people, and they came to me looking for to advise them and to work on their productions on radio, TV, and print. So I was doing really well, and I obtained and did my objective, which was very very interesting. Um, but again, expenses were too high, and I have to reduce and move to a different space. I even remember going back to your home, to my home. You were a little kid, and remember the basement of the house. I put all the equipment in there. Do you remember?
Of
I guess you
course,
do.
of course. I remember you had the office in
I
the basement.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
had to move from 312 West Randolph to the basement in 6327 North Trip in Sagonats. But still, the spirit was there. I had all the equipment, which was very expensive, and I kept working until a company named Televisa from Mexico was looking for an international correspondent, and somebody told them about me. They interviewed me, and they gave me a job. So I had the I had the company, uh, Gill and Gill doing advertising, but I also had a television crew, going and interviewing the mayor, interviewing the governor, interviewing the president of the United States. Back then, working on a national campaign. Uh, I remember working on the Bush campaign at that time. Later on, Dukakis, who was the Democratic candidate for the presidency of the United States. I also worked for him. Um, that was a great thing because I remember Dukakis coming into Chicago, and I was going to produce a television commercial for him. And I did everything for the TV commercial, but then I asked him if I could interview him for Televisa Mexico. And he said, of course. And the good thing is that he spoke Spanish. So I interviewed him in Spanish. We spoke like half an hour, like for half an hour, and then I sent the tape to Mexico, and they stopped all the programming in Mexico just to have that interview on the air immediately, and they ran it like every half an hour or every 2 hours. It was the greatest thing at that time in Mexico, talking to to a
American presidential
candidate for
candidate.
the
Yeah.
presidency of the United States. It was an exclusive, and that really put me in the map. And then, of course, after that, I did many things while I was a journalist. I went to Iraq when Clinton decided to go back to the Gulf War, and I stayed there for 3 months, reporting from Baghdad. I was also in Jordan and also in Israel, even though Televisa had many correspondents all over the world. Well, somehow they like me. They like my job, my work, because I always had everything done. And I learned that in media you have to have everything on time. I mean, it's not that you have the greatest exclusive. You have no. You gotta have it, but you gotta have it on time.
Yeah.
A lot of people do beautiful things, but they never get on the air because
They wait too long.
they wait too long. So it was a great experience. But it's difficult to survive or to make money in journalism that way. You can be very famous. People might appreciate your job. They might, see you as a hero or somebody that has a lot of name and recognition. But in reality, it doesn't pay too well. I mean, that doesn't mean that I didn't make good money. I made good money, but I really realized that my brothers, your uncles, were making more money than I was doing in real estate, you know?
Yeah.
And I say, well, hold it. Back then, I also had TV time on Channel 25, which is a local TV station through cable. I had like 20 hours per week. 20 I was producing 20 hours a week of local television. And I say, hold it, if I am producing this, why don't get into the real estate business and, and see what happens. So I advertised my own homes, and I did very well because everybody knew me and everybody trusted me, and I wasn't paying for any media time because it was mine. So we really uh, created a little empire. We
Right. I
had
remember that.
television, we also had real estate, and we also had mortgages because people needed to have money to buy the houses. They love their homes, but they didn't know where to go or they didn't trust the regular channels. So they came to me because they trusted me and they still do. Thanks God.
Right.
And advice, I gave them advice. Many people were able to buy homes. Even you worked there, and you were a very good student and employee, and you
Well,
did very well too. I
yeah.
remember
Well, I
that
remember
back
I
then.
worked. I worked for the editing company, so I edited some of your videos in beta. You remember
Exactly.
that?
You also learn
Yeah.
how to do
And then we
the
did.
editing, the
Yeah.
camera.
Yep.
Also, you remember that I used to have, like, back then, I'm talking about more than 20 years. Yeah, more than 20. No, perhaps 18 years or 15 years. We had, how you call those?
Beta.
The half an hour programs promoting, I mean, very similar to what you are doing on radio or podcasts. We had it on television
Right.
that you and I talked. You did several programs talking about how to get a loan
Right.
to buy a house, the different programs available at that time, at different banks, and obviously you couldn't be involved in real estate at the same time because the state didn't allow it.
Right.
But your brother, Sebastian, was involved in real estate. So it was a beautiful combination. Anyway, we did very well until the year 2007,
Yeah, I remember.
2008, that the crisis, um, real estate crisis
Struck.
showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, stroke, and nobody was expecting that. And almost 90-95% of all businesses in that industry closed their doors or went bankrupt because it was a disaster. Uh, and then, so it was difficult times that affected my health. And your mom and I, well, broke up, and that
Sure.
affected my health too.
Sure.
So I decided to quit, to close everything down. Um, I came down to Colombia, and here I am.
Well,
But everything is fine, and who knows? I might go back and start all over again.
there it is. Yeah. Well, I love to hear that. So, you know what? I that's exactly why I love for you to tell your story. I love for you to, share with everyone that, you came to an entirely new country by yourself at an early age. You ended up in Chicago, um, again at an early age, and then from there just went on to interview presidents and celebrities and everyone in between. So, I think that's inspiring. And one thing that I wanted to do was we're actually going to get to, I think, here, we're going to take a quick intermission. And what I want to do is just thank our partners, Element Studios. That's EL3MENT Studios.com for all your media production needs. They're servicing Chicago and all the surrounding suburbs. So go ahead and check them out on their website, or you can also check them out on their Instagram. So let's go ahead and take a quick intermission, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back from the intermission. Again, want to thank our partner, Element Studios. That's EL3MENT Studios.com. Go ahead and check out their website and their Instagram. They're a full service media production company. So go ahead and check them out. And we are back now here with my dad, Juan Guillermo Gil. And again, Pa, I want to thank you for being on the show. But I really want you to go into detail with some of the stories, because one that really impacted me was when you ended up getting that job with Televisa, the difference.
Yes,
Can you get
yes.
into the details with that story? Because I love that one.
Yes, I remember. Televisa is the largest Mexican television company.
International
Uh,
news.
is huge. Is as large or larger than ABC, CBS, and it's a worldwide company back then. It was 20 years ago, even before ABC, CBS, and others were broadcasting all over the world. They were doing that. And the best example was Echo. Echo was like CNN back then.
Hmm.
What happened was that these people hired somebody to work for them before they came to me. What happened? It was like a holiday, uh, and the person that they hired to do the reporting, the job, didn't send any story. And when my ex boss asked him why he didn't send any story, so he said, "Well, it's a holiday here. I don't work holidays." So he said, "Oh, really? Okay, fine. Thank you very much." That was his last day, of course. So
Right.
they went to a television station trying to find a reporter interested. But at that time, nobody knew what ECO, and nobody was going to risk his or her job to go to work for a known company. They didn't know that behind that name was the largest television company in Latin America. So they looked for me and, well, they said, go and interview with this person. He is staying at the Palmer House. I went to talk to see him, and we talk about everything you imagine about sports, about politics, about the community, about general uh, general information all over the world. And he never asked me if I had done reporting before, or if I knew anything about
Media.
production. Nothing.
Yeah.
All we talk about everything except journalism.
Mm.
I learned then that the most important thing in this job is to be informed, well informed, and to know a little bit about everything. I mean, if you know how to write and express yourself, it's very good. But if you are informed, it's even better. And you shouldn't be. You should be objective. You shouldn't take only one side. I remember, because I didn't have experience on that. I remember once Puerto Ricans were very proud because they wanted to have a statehood. So I want to interview the guys that were promoting a statehood. And I sent the story. And my boss said, and what is the other side? I said, what do you mean? Well, yes, these people want statehood, but where are those who want independence? I said, oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Right.
So
There's two sides to every story.
exactly, you must have the two sides to the story, and I should have done that. I mean, I should have known that, but I didn't. I learned very fast. Another thing I learned is that no matter what, you must get the story. I remember that Exxon Alaska was a huge accident in Alaska. So my boss asked me, listen, how far is Chicago from Anchorage? I said, no idea. She said, okay, please take the first plane and go over there. I said, fine. It was a Saturday. I had already plans that day. So anyway, I called and find out how much the ticket was. It was like $5,000. So I said, 5,000? Oh, he's going to say no. I called Mr. Cortez and said, Mr. Cortez, I found out the plane leaves in an hour, but it's $5,000. I said, I told you to go to Alaska. I didn't ask you to tell me how much it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, you learn on, and since then, it was a great experience. My life I've been blessed. But I think that the most important thing is to be always very optimistic. Always you have to think that you can do it. That if you work hard for things, they will come along. You shouldn't feel that people are trying to. I never felt discriminated, for example, for my for my accent or because I am a Hispanic or anything. No, I think that I never felt that. I have never felt anything like that. I think that people who feel like that, they are killing themselves. It's not the society, but themselves are doing that to themselves. They are doing that to themselves. So it's something very important that people should not just depend to receive something from somebody. People should
Entitlement. That's in the entitlement, you mean?
Strive to get and earn things for themselves. When you expect that people or government gives you things, that's the end of the story, because then you lose drive, and when you lose the drive to get to be better, to get things done, well, I don't think that life is too exciting.
Sure.
So that's the message I want to leave. I want to leave the message that believe in yourself always, no matter what. Life is not going to be always good to you. There are times when things are difficult, but just stand up and keep going. Keep
Hmm.
going, no matter what. Things, if you work for them, you will get them. And it's not only me who says that. Those people, you talk to anybody who has a little bit of success in their lives, and they will tell you that. However, those that always, just expect things given to them, uh-uh, they will never get anywhere. Yeah, they might survive, but I don't think they are gonna be very happy with their lives.
Sure. And that's why this is the best interview I've had with my dad. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Juan Guillermo Gil. Pa, thank you so much for all of that advice, for that powerful message you left. You left me and the audience and everyone who's listening. This is going to be something that resonates with a lot of people. And again, just want to say thank you for coming on the show today, for just for everything. Thank you for everything. I have an opportunity now to let the world know how much I appreciate everything that you've done for me, and I'm thankful for all of that advice that you've drilled down into my head ever since I was a kid. So love you a lot, and thank you so much again for just being on the show.
Thank you, honey, for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. And I feel very proud. I repeat that many, many times over and over again because so far you have proven to be the best, the best product of my life, the best
All right.
creation of
Thank you.
everything I
Thank you.
have
Thank
done.
you.
Everything I have done not even comes close to
There it
who
is.
you are or how great and how proud I feel
There it is.
about.
All right, Pa. Well, thanks so much again. Again, love you. Thanks so much. And again, we just want to we just appreciate you being on here. So, uh, thank you to our partner, Element Studios. That is EL3 Studios.com for all your full service production media needs. Go ahead and check them out on their website and on their Instagram at Element Studios EL3 MENT, and they're actually recording here today. So want to say thank you all, and also want to say thank you to Ian over at Untold Stories Recordings here as well. So hey, thanks so much, man. All right, thanks everyone. This has been great.